Wait a bit, I'll remember. Petritsky went behind the partition and lay down on his bed. Wait a bit. This was how I was lying, and this was how he was standing. Yes, yes, yes. Here it is. And Petritsky pulled a letter out from under the mattress, where he had hidden it. Vronsky took the letter and his brother's note. It was the letter he was expecting from his mother, reproaching him for not having been to see her, and the note was from his brother to say that he must have a little talk with him. Vronsky knew that it was all about the same thing. What business is it of theirs? Thought Vronsky, and crumpling up the letters he thrust them between the buttons of his coat so as to read them carefully on the road. In the porch of the hut he was met by two officers, one of his regiment and one of another. Vronsky's quarters were always a meeting place for all the officers. Where are you off to? I must go to Peterhof. Has the mare come from Tsarskoye? Yes, but I've not seen her yet. They say Mahotin's gladiator's lame. Nonsense. But however are you going to race in this mud? Said the other. Here are my saviors, cried Petritsky, seeing them come in. Before him stood the orderly with a tray of brandy and salted cucumbers. Here's Yashvin ordering me to drink a pick-me-up. Well, you did give it to us yesterday, said one of those who had come in. You didn't let us get a wink of sleep all night. Oh, didn't we make a pretty finish? Said Petritsky. Volkov climbed onto the roof and began telling us how sad he was. I said, let's have music, the funeral march. He fairly dropped asleep on the roof over the funeral march. Drink it up, you positively must drink the brandy, and then seltzer water and a lot of lemon, said Yashvin, standing over Petritsky like a mother making a child take medicine, and then a little champagne, just a small bottle. Come, there's some sense in that. Stop a bit, Vronsky. We'll all have a drink. No, goodbye all of you. I'm not going to drink today. Why, are you gaining weight? All right, then we must have it alone. Give us the seltzer water and lemon. Vronsky, shouted someone when he was already outside. Well? You'd better get your hair cut, it'll weigh you down, especially at the top. Vronsky was in fact beginning, prematurely, to get a little bald. He laughed gaily, showing his even teeth, and pulling his cap over the thin place, went out and got into his carriage. To the stables, he said, and was just pulling out the letters to read them through, but he thought better of it, and put off reading them so as not to distract his attention before looking at the mare. Later. Chapter 21. The temporary stable, a wooden shed, had been put up close to the race course, and there his mare was to have been taken the previous day. He had not yet seen her there. During the last few days he had not ridden her out for exercise himself, but had put her in the charge of the trainer, and so now he positively did not know in what condition his mare had arrived yesterday and was today. He had scarcely got out of his carriage when his groom, the so-called stable boy, recognizing the carriage some way off, called the trainer. A dry-looking Englishman, in high boots and a short jacket, clean-shaven, except for a tuft below his chin, came to meet him, walking with the uncouth gait of jockey, turning his elbows out and swaying from side to side. "Well, how's Frou-Frou?" Vronsky asked in English. "All right, sir," the Englishman's voice responded somewhere in the inside of his throat. "Better not go in," he added, touching his hat. "I've put a muzzle on her, and the mare's fidgety." "Better not go in, it'll excite the mare." "No, I'm going in. I want to look at her." "Come along, then," said the Englishman, frowning, and speaking with his mouth shut, and, with swinging elbows, he went on in front with his disjointed gait. They went into the little yard in front of the shed. A stable boy, spruce and smart in his holiday attire, met them with a broom in his hand, and followed them. In the shed there were 5 horses in their separate stalls, and Vronsky knew that his chief rival, Gladiator, a very tall chestnut horse, had been brought there, and must be standing among them. Even more than his mare, Vronsky longed to see Gladiator, whom he had never seen. But he knew that by the etiquette of the race course it was not merely impossible for him to see the horse, but improper even to ask questions about him. Just as he was passing along the passage, The boy opened the door into the second horse box on the left, and Vronsky caught a glimpse of a big chestnut horse with white legs. He knew that this was Gladiator, but, with the feeling of a man turning away from the sight of another man's open letter, he turned round and went into Frou Frou's stall. The horse is here belonging to Mok Mok, he never can say the name, said the Englishman, over his shoulder, pointing his big finger and dirty nail towards Gladiator's stall. Mahotin? Yes, he's my most serious rival, said Vronsky. If you were riding him, said the Englishman, I'd bet on you.